They were shaping the future. Their blend of athleticism, polish, and storytelling helped redefine what drum corps could even be.
This is the Marching Revolution podcast.
Boots on the ground with a thunderous beat. Hearts in sync, our purpose complete. Map of the future drawn by our stride. Through the struggle we walk unified. Marching forward where no chains can
the Marching
hold.
Revolution, where we explore the evolving landscape of the marching arts and ask thoughtful questions about who's included, who's excluded, and why it still matters.
I'm Edward Michael Francis.
And I'm also Edward Michael Francis.
I told you not to step into that telepod. Now there's two of us, and one of us might be, horror of horrors, Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, please. Anything, but Jeff Goldblum, who can't seem to finish
We got it.
Okay. Today's episode is part 2 of our ongoing series, Uniformly Unequal, Gender Dynamics in North American Drum and Bugle Corps.
Nice.
This one is subtitled, A Closer Look at Modern Gendered Spaces.
And, of course, the article is by Edward Michael Francis again. Who's that? Never heard of her.
Before we dive into this next section, quick reminder.
Listen up.
The views expressed on the Marching Revolution are our own.
100%.
And they don't represent any corps, circuits, or organizations we discuss.
Right. We're not speaking for anyone. We're speaking to something bigger.
Yes.
Culture, systems, patterns. If you hear your group in this, that's not about blame. That's about reflection.
And a quick reminder, every script, episode, and article is created with the vital assistance of our AI workforce. As a cult survivor with PTSD and autism, it's an indispensable tool that helps prevent burnout and keep this work sustainable.
So there's your warning. Don't say we never gave you anything.
You can read the whole thing right now on Patreon. But don't worry, if that sounds like work, we'll do the heavy lifting and read it to you.
We've also got a brand new website, comrades, but Satan willing, we'll plug it later without sounding like a Squarespace ad. Plus, there's a very special surprise waiting in the comments.
So don't tune out early. We're diving deep, connecting dots, and unpacking patterns that some folks would rather stay buried.
Oh, and Myron the cat is in the room,
Yay.
keeping time with their tail, which means this episode is officially in rhythm.
Cue that sting. Before we dive in, let's talk about where we're coming from.
Yes, let's.
At the Marching Revolution, we're not lawyers, we're not doctors.
Nope.
We're just a they with a conscience and a mic. But we take this seriously. We hold ourselves to high standards when it comes to ethics, accuracy, and accountability.
That's right.
We name names when the history or the policy demands it. But this isn't about calling people out.
Not at all.
It's about calling systems in. We're here to examine patterns.
Just vibes, receipts, and a deep love for making things better than we found them.
Now, as we mentioned in part 1, where we had a provocative discussion of the all-woman or all-girl drum corps scene, as it was called,
Yes!
there's data showing all female learning environments can really help students thrive.
Oh, yeah?
But when it comes to all male spaces, it's a different
A
story.
major meta-analysis by Polka, Hyde, and Allison from 2014 looked at 1.6 million K-12 students across 21 countries. It found no consistent academic benefit for boys in single-sex classrooms. And in some cases, their behavior actually got worse.
So if education is the aim, the evidence shows no meaningful benefit from all male classrooms.
Correct.
While women-only settings may offer small gains, boys-only environments don't reliably improve outcomes.
Which raises the real question.
What question?
Who exactly are we protecting when we preserve those spaces?
Before we continue, a brief history lesson.
Okay.
As we covered in part 1, before the 1970s, drum corps was largely segregated in several ways.
Oh?
One of the most significant being gender.
Right. women were often relegated to the color guard, support roles like cooking or sewing, or left out of entire organizations altogether. Two groups that maintained these policies well into the modern era were the Madison Scouts and the Chicago Cavaliers.
Both were rooted in Boy Scout tradition, which for years was used to justify keeping those policies in place.
We can also point to examples of corps that had a long history of excluding people of color.
Yeah, not exactly the proudest tradition Drum Corps has to offer. So with that in mind, let's look at one of the most iconic groups in Drum Corps history, the Cavaliers.
Yes!
Founded in 1948 and based in Rosemont, Illinois, the Cavaliers are a charter member of DCI and one of the most decorated corps of all time.
They got more hardware than a Home Depot.
7 DCI championships, 6 VFW national titles, 3 American Legion wins.
16 titles, wow!
But trophies aren't the real story. They pushed the envelope on visual innovation, ensemble precision, and theatrical design.
Oh?
Long before DCI even existed, the Cavaliers were dominating those VFW and American Legion circuits.
Ooh.
That kind of consistent excellence built the foundation for their later success in the modern era.
Exactly. They were shaping the future.
Quite right.
Their blend of athleticism, polish, and storytelling helped redefine what drum corps could even be.
Exactly. Let's talk about the 1971 circus show.
Do tell.
It was wild. Literal clowns on the field. A cohesive theme when most groups were still marching out in straight lines with a Sousa march in the tank. Totally groundbreaking at the time.
Cavaliers said, screw it. We're bringing Cirque du Soleil. Years before Cirque du Soleil even existed.
But here's the thing. They weren't alone. Corps like the Royal Airs were pushing the boundaries with costuming and theatricality as well. The Boston Crusaders and Blue Stars, members of the early Combine and the Alliance, were exploring new visual techniques, storytelling, and even props.
The Combine! That was some real rebel energy.
It was.
Like the Avengers of Drum Corps saying, forget the VFW, we'll assemble our own universe.
That spirit of rebellion came to a head in 1972 with the formation of DCI.
Correct.
A turning point fueled by groups demanding more artistic freedom.
Indeed.
The Cavaliers were right there in the mix, helping to shape a new era. There's no denying it. The Cavaliers helped rewrite the rulebook.
They really
From
did.
show design to drill writing to visual storytelling.
Indubitably.
They helped shape the DNA of this activity.
And that legacy, however complicated, is real. Let's start by acknowledging something important.
What's that?
CAPE, the Cavaliers' parent organization, currently offers gender-inclusive programs.
Oh?
They've done it before, and they're doing it now.
Chromium Winds is a perfect example. A co-ed ensemble, highly successful and widely respected.
Right. The infrastructure for inclusion is already in place.
All of it.
Women, non-binary folks, and queer people have been part of the Cavaliers' broader community for years.
Yes, they have.
In administrative roles, instructional staff, logistics, even design.
Wow.
Inclusion isn't a mystery to this organization.
In fact, many of those folks are the backbone of the culture.
Right?
Core members. Pun intended.
So naturally, some are asking, why doesn't that inclusion extend to the core proper?
Yeah, people like us.
Why does the field still feel like a restricted space?
And maybe that restriction isn't coming from a place of malice.
Of course not.
But from a deeply held identity.
Right.
This core has existed for decades as a single gender space. And change, especially when it touches tradition, can feel complicated.
Absolutely. But we live in a moment where more people than ever, especially trans and non-binary performers, are seeking space to express themselves authentically.
Yup.
When those voices are excluded, even passively, that can speak volumes.
And we're not talking about vague gestures here.
No.
These are talented artists, educators, and athletes looking for a path forward in the activity they love.
The Cavaliers did revise their membership policy in 2022.
Yes, they did.
The language became less rigid, replacing older wording with terms like government-issued documentation and casting criteria.
And that raises some fair questions.
It does.
What exactly does that mean? who defines the criteria, and how are those standards applied in practice?
Because policies can sometimes sound inclusive on paper, while still making it hard for certain folks to feel welcome in reality.
We're not here to shame.
Oh no.
We're here to challenge, to open up a conversation about building a marching arts community that truly reflects the diversity of the people in
The
it.
Cavaliers have the legacy, the talent, and the leadership to take the next step.
All of that.
We're not saying tradition has to be erased.
Not at all.
We're saying it can continue to evolve.
That's the heartbeat of this activity, right?
right.
Growth, reinvention, progress.
Here, here.
Just look at the Madison Scouts.
Looking.
When scouting opened the door to all genders, they stepped through it too.
Woohoo.
That was leadership.
So, what comes next? That's up to all of us.
Right.
But the door to progress only opens when we're willing to turn that handle together.
Let's talk about why this matters.
Okay?
Because it's easy to look at the Cavaliers' policy changes and say, hey, they updated the language. Isn't that enough? But surface compliance isn't structural change. You can repaint the house all you want, but if the foundation's cracked, the roof's still going to fall in.
Exactly. Real inclusion means rethinking who's invited to build the house in the first place.
This.
Not just who's allowed to stand on the porch.
And here's the thing. Most cores use language like casting criteria in their membership agreements. It's pretty standard.
Yes.
Usually meant to cover artistic flexibility or ensemble balance.
And the Cavaliers seem to be the only group using that phrase in a way that consistently results in gender exclusivity. The pattern speaks louder than the paperwork.
What we're seeing isn't a one-time casting decision. In theater, casting criteria refers to choices that change with the needs of a production. But in this case, the outcome doesn't change. The membership profile remains the same, regardless of the show, theme, or concept. That more closely resembles a policy, not casting criteria. In this context, the phrase casting criteria lacks definition and transparency. It appears to be selectively applied.
Quite right.
It creates the appearance of inclusion while maintaining exclusion.
Yeah.
And for trans and non-binary performers, that pattern sends a clear message.
Yes, it does.
You may only be welcome if your presence doesn't challenge long-standing assumptions about who belongs. And if your identity does challenge those assumptions, your place in the ensemble may become negotiable.
Wow.
Under criteria that are undefined and inconsistently enforced.
This is the same dynamic we've seen in other areas of diversity work, where organizations claim they're inclusive, but cite a lack of applicants as the reason for the exclusion. That doesn't reflect equity. It reflects a structural barrier.
Exactly. This pattern doesn't evolve. It doesn't bend. It doesn't make room unless someone's forced to out themselves just to ask for a seat.
Oof.
And in that way, it's structurally inescapable.
And that kind of uncertainty makes it harder for performers to know if they truly belong.
Understanding this dynamic is crucial if we want to get honest about the state of inclusivity in the marching arts.
Quite right.
Especially in an organization as historically influential as the Cavaliers.
There it is.
Because when the trendsetters rely on vague or legalistic language to justify exclusion, what message does that send to the rest of the activity?
I mean, at that point, we're just choreographing the status quo. Let's talk about what we perceive as a potential catch-22 in the Cavaliers' membership policy, particularly for transgender performers.
Okay.
Because under the vague case-by-case casting language, some trans and non-binary performers may feel caught in an impossible position.
What position?
Hypothetically, if a trans man doesn't present in a way someone expects, he may feel pressured to out himself.
Really?
Not because he wants to or feels safe doing so, but because his identity becomes a kind of unwritten password for access.
And even then, entry might still not be guaranteed.
Exactly. While this might not be the intention, it can functionally become a crisis of belonging. In real life, that could mean trans men who present more femme might feel forced to share deeply personal, even traumatic details, simply to be considered. Not necessarily to clarify anything.
No.
But to maintain a legacy system that, in our opinion, deserves a re-examination.
And this can cut both ways. Imagine You're trans. You made it in. You're marching. But at some point, staying closeted is no longer viable.
Happens all the time.
So what then?
Do you disclose and hope it goes okay? Do you feel compelled to pass every day to avoid discomfort? Or do you quietly leave because the system may not have been designed to hold you?
And if someone can make it through those circumstances, if the Corps is already allowing a wider range of gender expression and practice, then why not codify that safety into policy?
Why indeed?
Where's the line? Who gets to draw it?
Right. This is potentially about someone's real season being altered or derailed by uncertainty.
Precisely.
It could mean letting go of a dream simply due to identity.
Right.
In our opinion, if a policy opens the door for that kind of harm, it deserves thoughtful scrutiny.
Careful scrutiny.
Because when the only way to be seen is to first disappear, everybody loses.
Including the activity that claims to be for all.
And to be fair, it does look like the Cavaliers are making efforts.
Oh, yes.
And that should be acknowledged.
Correct.
But trying isn't the same as arriving. There's a reason every score sheet has two boxes: the what and the how.
Truth.
Progress is a responsibility.
So yes, change is happening. But from where we sit, there's more progress to be made.
Totally.
We'll be right back.
The rhythm of hope, it pounds in our chests. We won't stop until we've done our best. The world is ours to turn to flame, and from it we'll forge a brand new name. The brand new name will forge a
Welcome back. Let's take a moment to acknowledge the efforts the Cavaliers have made publicly and proactively toward internal reform.
Yes, let's.
In March of 2018, during a time of heightened awareness around safety and accountability in the drum corps community,
Yeah?
the Cavaliers released a letter from Executive Director Chris Lugo outlining a series of planned changes. We want to highlight a few key excerpts from that letter because there's very meaningful language here and it's worth taking seriously.
It's important to recognize when organizations speak up and show initiative, especially in moments that call for leadership.
Here's Lugo writing in 2018.
Talk to me.
Since stepping into the role of Executive Director of the Cavaliers in the fall of 2015, my goal has been the improvement and growth of the organization so that we can best serve our students, our staff, and to make our community proud. After working with our board of directors in recent years, I know the Cavaliers have taken important steps forward to build a culture of mutual care and respect.
Nice.
More importantly, if and when information of a troubling nature is reported, the organization partners with our compliance task force to address complaints and to ensure the organization's policies are followed for the safety of all involved.
That kind of public acknowledgement matters. It shows that leadership is aware of the responsibility they carry and willing to face it head on.
Later in the letter, Lugo addresses the broader movement in the activity. We've seen disturbing and heartbreaking stories about sexual abuse that have rocked the drum corps world. I say with full conviction that we stand with the brave victims who have told their story.
Wow.
These recent events serve as a reminder that our work is never finished. And this part stood out to us.
Read on.
No organization is perfect, including the Cavaliers. That's why it's critical to go beyond policy and educate our people. We can never stop improving every aspect of what we do.
That's a strong and necessary message. Acknowledging imperfection while committing to continuous improvement, that's the kind of mindset that can lead to real progress.
Lugo also laid out some specific actions for the 2018 season.
What were they?
Specialized training with outside HR professionals, weekly safety training during the summer, a kickoff symposium with parents and alumni, reduced rehearsal schedules focused on team development, and he closed with this: "My door is always open and I'm listening for every opportunity to enhance the protection of our people today."
Boom!
The Cavaliers do not tolerate harassment, past, present, and future.
That's a powerful commitment. And while every effort takes time to fully unfold, making these kinds of steps visible helps build trust.
Absolutely. This letter doesn't just reflect an organizational response, it reflects intention, reflection, and care. That matters.
And it's a reminder that safety and inclusion are deeply connected.
Say it again.
Supporting one without the other means the work is only half done.
Well said. The groundwork is here. The commitments are real.
Very real.
And the next step is continuing to widen the circle.
What they said.
To make sure those values reach every part of the experience.
We're hopeful because when an organization says we're listening, the next chapter is about action that matches that promise. Okay, so credit where credit's due. This next part actually gave me pause.
Oh?
Because in 2021, the Cavaliers created a standing culture committee at the board level.
Oh.
Permanent. Not a task force, not a summer project. A year-round, embedded commitment to cultural change.
And that's no small thing.
Not at all.
A board-level committee shows they've made cultural change part of their core leadership structure.
The committee was charged with 3 major goals.
Which are?
Make diversity and inclusion active priorities across all programs, update policies and handbooks to match evolving values,
Awesome.
and maintain an environment that promotes health, safety, and participant welfare.
That's the full triangle. Policy, practice, and people.
And they didn't stop there.
Keep talking.
They expanded their board of directors in a big way, bringing in folks from corporate HR, education, medicine, community arts, even financial management.
Vital.
It wasn't just a diversity optics play. It was a real expansion of perspective and expertise.
Exactly right.
And here's the part that made me sit back and go,
Huh.
They brought in Elijah Mondi Jr.,
No.
the Corps' first African-American marching member, as part of that new leadership team.
That's powerful. That's legacy meeting accountability.
Yeah, that's everything. And it's worth saying out loud. When an organization says change starts at the top,
Preach.
and then actually puts someone like Elijah Mondi Jr. at the top,
Snap.
that's some follow-through.
It's rare to see an action that actually lives up to the message in this world. That's so meaningful.
Agreed. This feels like real momentum.
Very real.
If they keep going, if they let this culture committee do its job without interference, it could become a model for the rest of the activity.
That's the kind of leadership that deepens a legacy.
One that honors where they've been and makes room for where they're going.
At the time of this recording, more recent updates from the Cavaliers Culture Committee aren't publicly available, but we absolutely wish them the best as they continue that work.
We've also reached out to both the board of directors and the Cavaliers CEO, and we look forward to hearing back from them someday, whether that's a public response or something shared privately.
And of course, we'll keep you, our listeners, updated.
It's what we do, baby.
All right, comrades, as our favorite TV show of all time would say, commercial sign.
Boom! You know what that means. Time to plug the lifeblood of this whole operation.
If you want to keep this revolution fed and fully caffeinated, head over to patreon.com/Cinemarchmedia.
Or browse the goods at cinemarchmedia.com, where you'll find both our podcasts, The Marching Revolution and Marxists at the Movies, all neatly organized just like your pit truck.
The $6 tier gets you early access to our articles, updates, and the kind of spicy news that makes your caption head sweat.
The $10 tier includes that, plus early audio drops, exclusive bonus content, and of course, both tiers enjoy surprise cameos from Myron the Cat, who, I swear, just side-eyed me for mispronouncing Shostakovich.
They take critique very seriously, especially when it involves your tone quality and your life choices.
Support us if you can, share us if you can't. And always remember, Myron is the only section leader we fear.
And the only one who keeps their tail in time.
We love good lower body articulation. And finally, if you marched with the Cavaliers and want to share your experience, no matter who you are or how you identify, We want to hear from you.
Drop your story at the link in the comments for our Story Drum Corps series.
Yay!
You can stay anonymous. We don't have to publish a word. It's your choice. Sometimes you just need to be heard by someone who actually gives a damn.
Quite right.
We're listening. And once again, we find ourselves saying the thing that no one else wants to say out loud.
What thing?
This is about honoring the entire legacy of an organization. All of it. Not just the shiny parts with medals and mirror props.
Even the parts that don't make the alumni newsletter.
The Cavaliers' impact on this activity is undeniable.
Undeniable.
Their legacy is woven into the very fabric of the modern drum corps experience.
Essential.
Nothing about asking hard questions changes that.
Nope.
In fact, honoring a legacy means holding it accountable.
You can praise the past and still demand better from the present. That's what's known as growth.
Precisely. These things are not at odds. Acknowledging the brilliance is not incompatible with critiquing the blind spots.
Yep.
Both realities exist, both matter, because the story of the Cavaliers, just like the story of drum corps itself, is one of triumph, tradition, change, and challenge.
And the only way to truly honor that story is to tell the whole thing. Started this conversation with a letter. We're continuing it the same way. We hope to hear back from them someday.
Hopefully.
What you're about to hear are excerpts from the Marching Revolution's open letter to Robert Baker Hargrove, CEO of the Cavaliers. Consider this our message to the Cape family and fellow drum corps brethren.
This is where belief meets accountability.
And I quote, "In drum corps, we are forged in a culture of relentless excellence. We're told every day on the field, we don't care how you do it, but you must do better on the next rep." That was belief. Belief that better is always possible and that growth is non-negotiable.
That same spirit, the one that pushes us past our limits and redefines what's possible, is what I'm calling on now.
The Cavaliers have a legacy unlike any other, and in many ways, you are doing great work. You've taken steps, you've opened doors, you've started conversation. Now, please keep going. Push further. Continue being the Cavaliers we know you are.
Because excellence demands it, because the future deserves it, and because your legacy deserves nothing less.
Signed, Edward Michael Francis, the Marching Revolution.
This is what it means to take the next rep.
And we're all on the field for this one.
All right, folks, that's the episode.
Phew.
We're standing right on center X, smack dab in the middle of our 3-part series on gender dynamics in drum and bugle corps.
Part 1 looked at the all-woman or all-girl, as it was called, drum corps movement.
Classic.
We spotlighted key individuals and some unforgettable ensembles.
This was part 2, focused on modern gendered spaces in the activity. And in 2 weeks, we'll wrap it all up with part 3.
Woo.
What does the future of equity look like in the marching arts?
That's going to be the best one.
All right, what did we learn today?
We learned that language holds power, that ambiguity can be a barrier, and that inclusivity isn't a branding exercise. It's a commitment.
We learned that honoring a legacy does not mean ignoring its flaws. It means facing them directly and choosing to do better.
World class means more than performance. It means leadership. It means setting the pace for the future of this activity.
Most corps understand that, and to those who do, we see you. We appreciate you.
To the rest, we're excited to grow with you. There is so much potential ahead, and we're already seeing it take shape.
Stay weird, stay femme. Myron demands it.
And you don't want to cross that, kitty. Keep your freak flag flying.
This has been the Marching Revolution.
Bye!
Boots on the ground with
Thank
a
you for
thunderous
listening
beat.
to the Marching
Hearts
Revolution
in sync, our
podcast.
purpose
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Stride through the struggle, we walk unified. Marching forward where no chains can hold. Hands in the dirt, we carve out gold. From the ashes we rise, we sing. For the power of the people is everything. Flags that wave like the dawn's first light, guiding us through the endless night. Every step shakes the earth awake. Our voices roar for justice's sake. Marching forward where no chains can hold. Hands in the dirt, we carve out gold. From the ashes we rise, we sing. For the power of the people is everything. The rhythm of hope, it pounds in our chest. We won't stop until we've done our best. The world is ours to turn to flame, and from it we'll forge a brand new name. Yeah! Craft the future, the wheels won't stall. Shoulder to shoulder we answer the call. Brick by brick through sweat and strive. In unity together we thrive.